G'day friends, Andy here. Today I'm going to edit a photo of a wedding cake that I took at a wedding that I had the pleasure to work at. The raw file looks like this, and the finished image will look like Okay, so here's our photo of our wedding cake. It's not the best photo I ever took in the world, and the settings were 1/100th of a second, f1.8. I probably should have taken a bigger depth of field than that, ISO 200. And as you can see, not the best photo I ever took, and you can see this slant here of the cake. And I was actually told when walking past it, please tread lightly because the wedding cake is likely to fall over. So yes, it had a slant. We probably could have taken it at a different angle, but this is what we ended up with. As I said, not the best photo I've ever taken. So the first thing that stands out to me are the lack of colors, lack of pop, and the lean here. Well, we can do something about the lean. If we come down here to our transform, and if we go to the guided section, and maybe we want this section straight. So if we hit there and put a line there, and I think guided needs 2 lines in order to work, and a line there, and let Lightroom do its magic, and it's done some magic. Great. So it's looking better already. If we did our backspace and our guided, yeah, looks better already. Okay, so I might want to crop this because, silly me, I left too much space on this side. Sorry, I didn't have the curtain behind the cake. So I might want to crop that out. And I might want to crop up to the flower there. And on this side, into the knife, because what I'm looking at is actually getting the middle of the cake in the middle there. And do I want all that information down there? Possibly, possibly not. And I'll have a look and see how that crop looks. Looks okay. Do we need to rotate this at all? We possibly do. Rotate it around a tiny bit. Until we get to there. And our cake is looking a little more upright, and we've got it kind of in the middle there. So that's good. Now, as I said at the start, I'm not quite happy with the colours of the photo. At the time, I could have put some lights on there, but that didn't happen. So for basic colouring, I like how Adobe has now given us all these profiles. Now, if I hover over the profiles, you'll see what we can have as starting points. Now, some look better than others, and some give us an indication of what might end up looking okay. Vivid one often looks good for adding a bit of colour, contrast and clarity. Or the appearance of clarity. I think it's just colour that it adds. So you can hover over all of these. I had a bit of a look earlier and had a look at Artistic 4. Looks good to me. I like that blue of the curtain, because if you have a look in the background, the curtain is very white, that sheer curtain. And if we do that, it becomes blue. Great. Once I click on there, I can adjust the amount. And what amount do I want? Is that too much or too little? Well, let's try an extra amount to the end. Well, that's nothing, of course. And let's leave it about there. Great. So we have an improvement already. We close that. And I always like to check my work, so backspace. Looking better already. Okay, now let's have a look at the color balance. Looks good. It's looking a bit yellowy or orange here. So if I move this back a tad to around there, how does that look? If I go backwards and forwards, yeah, I like the effect that has. Okay, now how bright is this? Is it bright enough? Let's try it up a tad. It's probably nice. It's probably good too. And I don't often use contrast, but I often use highlights, so bringing down that often adds a bit of extra definition to some of the brighter points. Maybe I won't bring it all the way down, because bringing it all the way down dulls that flower up there. And it's a wedding photo. We want it a little bit brighter. Shadows, what if I brought those up a little? Because it is a wedding photo, we want it to have a certain amount of pop. Okay, whites. Let's grab a white point. Moving back, so as you can see on the left, bottom left, I'm pressing the Alt key while pressing that. Now that's technically where our first white point is, I think. It is, but it's just way too much. So how does that look? It looks good. And a black point. White point and black points for the greatest amount of contrast in a photo. And I like contrasty photos. Great. Check my work again. There's there before. There's there after. Looking better already. Okay. Now, there's a lot of detail here, especially within the flowers. And to bring out detail, you can crank up the clarity a little. Ooh, that seems like a lot now. Clarity can make images look dirty, if that makes any sense. Like, that's what I mean by dirty. So I brought up the clarity a little. Dehaze, I'm a big fan of dehaze, but what happens on this one? Yeah, messes with the colours. Vibrance we could try, but I don't think it would need it. No, because we've added a lot of colour already. Saturation, definitely not. Okay, so now looking at the image as a whole, what do I think? I think the flowers need to pop a little, and maybe we could do that with some exposure, some clarity, some saturation on the individual flowers. And I'm thinking possibly that the whole photo is looking a little yellow. So if I grab the yellow slider and pull it down a tiny bit, up a bit, because if I, yeah, it's looking yellow. That's looking a little better, I think. Great. So we'll leave that there. We'll travel down here. And what do we have down here? We have our sharpening. Let's see if that adds something to the photo, seeing that there's so many details. Not seeing a big difference from this far away. But there is a little bit. Now, being shot at ISO 200, there shouldn't be any noise. So we won't need to do that. Post-crop vignetting on this one to bring attention to our cake and to make that blue a bit bluer of the white sheer curtain. Now the white is very much looking blue. That looks great. Oop, didn't mean to do that. We'll have him back out there. Now we still haven't made those flowers pop, have we? So we could grab the adjustment brush, which has got a little exposure, a little clarity, maybe some saturation, and zoom around our flowers. That red is the overlay. meaning it's just showing me where I've painted. And a bit more on these flowers down here. We don't want to detract from the focus of the cake, but this might add to the photo. Now, if I hit the O button so that you can't see the overlay, there is indeed a bit more pop of the flowers, but perhaps a little too much. So I'll bring him down and the clarity down. What about the saturation if I brought that up? I'll crank it right up just to see what it does. It's not doing a whole lot. And that's great. And radial filters to make some individual flowers pop. So that one's catching my eye more than any other one. I think my eye wants to... Well, in photos, eyes need to rest somewhere. I'm not sure where I put my eye. Where I want it to rest. That might be an improvement. I'll right-click to duplicate that. And we should have another one. Put in another flower. Hit my Shift key. Pull it bigger. I'll right-click on that to duplicate it. Down there. And it looks good. I think this one needs brightening up. And because I've brightened it that much, I might just drag it down a little so we don't have a halo around the edge of the flower. And turn that off just to see how they look. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Let's do a before and after. As you can see, really getting some pop now, aren't we? Now, what else could we do? To focus a little more in the middle, I will have another look at our post-crop vignetting. That's a bit much. Don't really want it noticeable. But that's good. So our cake's kind of straight. Or is it? I'm not sure about that angle. I'm going to pull the angle down, not up. Down a little. And no, I was wrong. It needs to go up. Like so. Anyway, we'll leave that one there. That looks good to me. So thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.